you might have heard many people's developing some kinds of sensitivity after having prawns and allergies, skin reactions. It's mainly because it's mentioned in Ayurveda, it's Tridosha Kopak. That is, it provokes Tridoshas.
There's too many cosmetics companies that are not truly organic, but are portraying themselves to be organic.
The general public has knowledge only about a few ingredients to name. For example, sulfates, paraben free. But what about the rest? There are 1,300 to 5,000 ingredients that can equally be toxic, causing internal issues, hormonal issues, miscarriages, reproductive issues. This is listed in European Union, and these list is banned in European Union, which is prevalently used in most of the companies, even it is organic, natural brands in India, in US.
Today's episode with Dr. Nayana is our first episode on Ayurveda, where we did cover the basics of Ayurveda, the ABCs of it, but also tried covering some advanced aspects of Ayurveda. It's an extremely vast subject, so it's a fantastic 101 episode for you. In this age of cosmetics and skincare and hair care, where we're putting all sorts of products on our skin and on our hair without understanding the long-term effects of these chemical products, I personally feel conversations like this are extremely important, where ancient knowledge comes back to the forefront. Ancient knowledge is celebrated once again, and ancient knowledge is understood and applied in the real world for real world problems. Trust me, this episode will be an eye-opener from a cosmetics perspective. So if you're in the chase for better skin and hair, firstly, know that India has a lot of secrets when it comes to cosmetics. And secondly, keep your mind and your heart open to learning in this particular episode. I love supporting entrepreneurs like Dr. Nayana, who are running noble businesses, honest businesses that are difficult to run because massive companies out there in the world of cosmetics despise people like her. They do not like the honest mission that people like her are on. On YouTube, if we ever call out one of these massive companies, we usually send a legal notice. So doing this episode for me was a way to celebrate an entrepreneur like her. She's someone who's guided me in my own skincare journey. And here's Dr. Nayana explaining Ayurveda and explaining the cosmetic side of India's ancient sciences on this episode of TRS. After the episode, make sure you go follow Dr. Nayana and Vanaura Organics by clicking on the links given down below. But for now, enjoy this very special, health-oriented, cosmetics-oriented episode of TRS. Dr. Nayana, thank you for entering my life, because I think my skin, hair, mind, all of it improved after that one conversation with you we had long ago. So it was bound to happen. This podcast was bound to happen. Welcome to TRS for the first time.
Thank you so much, Ranveer. I'm so humbled to be here, to be a part of your show.
No, I think you have so much to share with the world. Honestly, the last 2 years in my life have been very transformative because I've adopted yoga, I've adopted Ayurveda.
Yes.
And you can only get Ayurveda experts like yourself to talk about organic skincare on a podcast like this. I feel too many people know nowadays that organics and Ayurveda work well on the internet. So there's a lot of non-qualified people talking about it.
Yes.
I'd actually first like for you to talk about what you've studied, so that people know that they're listening to an expert.
Yes. Ranveer, I have graduated in BAMS, Ayurvedic Medicine, and have done post-graduation in Ayurvedic Psychiatry that very few people know about.
Okay.
That is a medicine specialization in psychiatry.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so much of how you look on the outside is actually related to your mind as well.
Yes, definitely.
But then also there's always hacks you can use on your face, on your hair, to enhance the way you look.
Yes.
Personally, I'm an on-screen personality. So my skin, my hair, all these things matter to me a lot.
Yes.
But I think we're living in an age where everyone cares about it.
Yeah.
Why do you think people should be caring about their skin and their hair in the first place?
Yes, that's a very good question, and there are so many controversies or conflicts when we talk about taking care of the skin, especially skin. Usually, people say that it's we would choose natural beauty. Why you want to be beautiful like that? There is a concept like that, but when it comes to the skin, it's totally, we all know it's a reflection of one's mind. It's one's confidence, it's one's self-esteem, it's one's self-respect that is reflecting on your skin. What we see from outside, people say beauty lies in the eyes of the beholder. Yes, that is a concept where we perceive, that is a perceivable aspect of beauty, what people see about us. But the most important thing is what we feel about ourselves, how beautiful we feel about ourselves.
When you say how beautiful we feel about ourselves, even our feelings are actually decided by what's happening biologically inside your body.
Definitely. As you said that we need to enhance beauty, right?
Okay.
Why there should be a need to enhance beauty? Because the similar way we are eating food, we are taking a good diet to do what? To nurture the body physically. The same way we are doing yoga, we are practicing pranayama, meditation, to achieve what?
Inner peace?
Yes, to better our mind, to get to a higher level. So betterment is a goal. Knowing or unknowingly, it is inbuilt in the human instinct. So that way, we need to nurture each and every element of our human life, whether it may be mind, body, skin. It's very important because skin is the largest sense organ of our body, and it is the barrier of external and internal world.
Yeah. What I also definitely want to say is, once I graduated out of engineering college, a lot of my opinions about the world changed because I graduated from engineering into media, which is so much about how you look and so much about what you feel on the inside. Engineering is very mathematical. It's problem solving. So I remember having a lot of pimples then also. But once I started my YouTube journey, I got very serious about my bodybuilding because I want my body to look good. So I got into a ketogenic diet. I used to eat a lot of red meat. For some reason, I used to eat a lot of spicy food also. And I didn't know how my diet is actually affecting my skin and hair. But I ended up getting a lot of acne. Especially in this one phase where I went very ham on my keto. I did a very serious keto diet. Ate a lot of fat, ate a lot of meat.
Yes.
And I broke out so badly that there was 6 months of my life where I didn't leave my house. And I was recording videos, very embarrassed to do that even in front of camera. But my point of saying all this is I lost the confidence to actually leave my house. It was such a dark mental health phase for me. And I found it crazy that my skin is actually affecting my mental health. So I had two goals at that point. One is fix my skin in order to fix my mental health. And second was to talk about it online because I realized I wasn't alone. So many people in my gym, so many of my relatives were dealing with adult acne. People think you have acne only till the time you're a teenager, but pimples actually happen to people my age as well. And I'd only say probably at 28, 29, that was the point where I really figured, okay, this is the kind of diet that works for me. This is the kind of food that doesn't work for me. And at its core, it was a lot of meditation and yoga that really, I think, fixed my skin and my hair.
Yes.
I want to actually begin this conversation by talking about pimples because I think it's the most common topic for both the millennial generation and the Gen Zs.
Yes.
Where do we begin this pimple topic, especially from an organics Ayurvedic perspective?
Yeah. So there are two aspects, Ranveer, when it comes to the pathogenesis of pimple. What we say, how it is related to the mind. As you said, there was a lot of stress going on in your life. So stress actually induces a hormone called cortisol that everybody knows. It causes the fight or flight reaction in the body. So the same thing is initiates a precursor called CRH, cortisol releasing hormone. So this CRH actually binds with the oil producing glands of your skin, especially face. Face skin is very sensitive or tender compared to the other parts of your body. So this binds to the oil producing glands and it produces excessive oil, and thus when it combines with the external atmospheric pollution and other stuff, this including the lifestyle, pimples, acne vulgaris happens. So stress hormone has a direct connection to the initiation of pimples.
You know how people love Korean skincare for Korean masks? Like someone I dated had actually got me into Korean masks. And it's good, it's nice and all that. But I also feel Ayurveda has its own secrets when it comes to skincare, skin masks, etc.
Yeah, definitely.
Is that one of the general solutions?
Yes, because Ayurveda is a treasure of such formulations that is working on Indian skin particularly.
Okay.
Because when we talk about Ayurveda, it was particularly made 5,000 years ago. It was written 5,000 years ago with the only intention of curing disease or preventing diseases. There was no business perspective. There is no fancy. It was only for the good of human beings. So when it comes to beautifying things, Saundarya Prasadaga, that is beauty enhancing medicines, are so many formulations are there in Ayurveda, and this is in the form of paste, lepas, applications and all available there. And what we have noticed when it comes to the beauty enhancing treatments in Ayurveda is they are in the form of formulations. It is a mix of combination of different herbal drugs.
Okay.
That means we are not using a single jadi booty or a herb for a particular disease.
It's a bunch of things put together.
It is a bunch of things put together in a particular proportion, in a right balance, so that the formulation is balanced in itself. That is the difference from herbal medicine and Ayurveda.
Okay.
Herbal ingredients and Ayurveda. So if a particular ingredient has Ushna properties, that means hot potency, there should be another drug that can neutralize the harmful effects of hot potency in that formulation itself, so that the formulation is balanced in its own.
Got it. Okay. There's a lot of people listening to this wanting a home remedy right now.
Yeah.
And I know it's not easy for you to give a home remedy because everyone's skin is different, doshas are different.
Yeah.
You can't truly generalize with a remedy. But can I still ask you for a bit of a home remedy?
Yes. Home remedies are now in internet with so many home remedies we can see. Some may be working for some people, some may not work, but there is a huge danger that I would like to share with you, is that this particular ingredients using in a raw form can actually irritate and cause harm to your skin if directly applied.
Okay.
So we can't say that this particular home remedy is good. So that's why Ayurveda has mentioned certain processes of paga. That means processing in the particular, if that is oil soluble, we need to process it in oil. If it is water soluble, there is a particular way of extracting the best of that ingredient. So that processing makes the formula very irritant free.
Okay.
And it won't irritate the skin. So when it comes to home remedies, it's not advisable to use a home remedy as such for an indefinite period of time.
So basically there's no answer to like a generalized home
Yes.
remedy for acne because everyone's skin is different. I'll probably share my own experience. Again, this is my subjective experience. It may not even work for everyone. This is just related to my pimple journey. Okay. For me, the big switch was actually going vegetarian because I feel like that cut out a lot of pitta and I used to eat a lot of red meat. And I went vegetarian for the sake of my meditation. So as the meditation goes deeper, anyway, that you get a glow on your face because of the meditation and all that. So that was another factor. I noticed that even after going vegetarian, I started missing processed cheese and milk a lot. And for me, those two things used to irritate my stomach. It may not irritate everyone. I later found out that I've become lactose intolerant in life, which you can develop in time.
Yeah.
Then that can also cause acne. And I avoid a lot of table sugar. Like I don't eat any table sugar. I don't eat too much processed food. So for me, it was very diet centric, with to kind of remove the acne, but to really enhance my skin. I do use a particular Ayurvedic paste that has been given to me by you. So that's one aspect of it. Again, I don't want to talk about it because it's too subjective to me. The second is all my pranayam, my yoga, and always kind of just keeping a track of my diet and eating a lot of raw food. This is what has helped me. And I still get pimples once in a while. It's just a lot lesser than it used to be. This I'm giving so that people just close the loop on these questions, because I know what it's like having that many pimples on your face and looking at YouTube videos for remedies. You're willing to look at 1,000 videos just to gain that some new information.
Yeah.
So, doctor, would you like to add anything in this whole pimples problem?
Yes, because that is the very instinct in me that led to the development of my brand, as you know.
Yeah.
Because when people like you and many patients used to come to me with issues like this, and they wanted products that they can easily use, that can easily glide into their daily routine. So when I looked into the market, I couldn't find and pick and choose one, recommend them to recommend any of the product, because those ingredients what I was looking for was accompanied with a lot of synthetic elements and chemicals that could actually harm more than benefit the skin.
I also feel that when you're a subject expert who becomes an entrepreneur, you become a student even more deeply.
Definitely.
Once again, because you have to deep dive into your subject again and figure out how to make the masses understand the work that you're doing.
Yes.
I love that you brought up this whole thing about modern day cosmetics, because there's too many cosmetics companies that are not truly organic but are portraying themselves to be organic. I'm not even talking about the old world companies that will probably sue you and me for even naming them.
Yes.
But they're famous companies that everyone's heard about. We can't name them. I'm talking about some of the new age brands as well, who portray that they're organic but they're truly not. So let's talk about that, because I know that your skin is like basically a second mouth. Whatever you put on it, it ends up eating.
Yes, definitely.
So let's talk about it.
Yes, when it comes to the organic and natural skincare available now, there are so many things people are aware right now regarding, for example, sulfates, paraben free. People, general masses even look for sulfate free, paraben free shampoos or other skincare. But what about the rest? There are 1,300 to 5,000 ingredients that can equally be toxic, causing internal issues, hormonal issues, miscarriages, reproductive issues. This is listed in European Union, and these list is banned in European Union, which is prevalently used in most of the companies, even it is organic, natural brands in India, in US. This is a huge market where we only have knowledge about, the general public has knowledge only about a few ingredients to name.
Like it should be sulfate
What about
free.
the rest? Yes.
Silicone free.
Yes. People think that if it is sulfate free, silicone free, everything is fine. It's not.
But
okay.
on the label, how do you spot a bad ingredient?
That's quite difficult, Ranveer, when it comes to... I think that it is the duty of the formulators, those who manufacture. That is because there are so many loopholes as far as our Indian system regulating the cosmetics is concerned. There are so many loopholes. So we can't simply portray ourselves as transparency in labels. That doesn't matter, because that is not about that. That is picking and choosing and knowing the ingredients, being thoughtful about the source of the ingredients and putting it in the right place. That is all that matters. But we can't generalize a rule and ask the public to say, if you look for this ingredient, avoid this. We can't even say that, because it's not necessary that it should be listed on the label.
Okay. That's by law. You don't have to list everything on the label. Yes,
but there are so many malpractices happening. It is required to be listed on the label. But where does this ingredient come from? This supplier or cosmetic raw material supplier industry is huge, that they give you the list of ingredients with this kind of desirable effects. There are thousands of ingredients available in Indian market as well as abroad. But and what the cream and cosmetic manufacturing industries does is they pick and choose among the desired effects that bringing the product. But where the ingredient is sourced, what is the actual process going on to bring in that effect in the ingredient, that is unknown.
Okay. So I'm assuming that these cosmetic companies are okay keeping these ingredients in because overall it might reduce the cost of creating that same cream or face wash
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah.
The thing is, if you go fully organic with your product, probably the cost of manufacturing it increases. Am I right?
Yes, definitely.
That's the basic logic.
That is one logic, Ranveer. That is only one aspect. That is about cost management, cost cutting. Because if you have a raw material, when I talk about raw material, I'm referring to the structure what the cream is made of. The structure what is the gel is made of.
Okay.
Irrespective of the ingredient part, active part. That is where Ayurveda, organic or other actives come in. So I'm not talking about that. First I'm talking about the base of a product.
Okay.
How the structure of cream, how the structure of shampoo is made of. In that, as you said, there is a huge kind of cost cutting happening because the chemical synthetic alternatives are 50 times of lesser price when it comes to natural or organic ingredients. And also there are no substitutes that are readily available so that we can bring in the structure of a cream or a particular gel like that.
Yeah.
That is researched as far as we are concerned. We have researched some natural alternatives so that the texture and the form matches international quality. That is actually a huge level of research going on in that.
The sad thing is everyone who's our age is only going to see these effects in like 30-40 years. They'll keep using these products.
Yeah.
No matter how many people are even seeing this podcast, there's a lot of people who are still going to go for those same old school products because that's what they've used all their life. But the effects will only be seen 30-40 years later. And you're saying that there are actually even reproductory organ effects, and could there also be like carcinogens in all these things?
Yes, definitely.
Okay, so you can get cancer, you can get reproductive issues because of these things you're putting on your skin and your hair every day.
Yes, but and another matter of fact is that how can we attribute to a skin cancer developing 5 years later to a cream you have used 2 or 3 months in this spirit? So the studies available are also very less. We can't, if you search on a particular ingredient in a cream you're using, if you go to the Google, what does it say? This ingredient is can be used on the skin, and this brings in this kind of a benefit. It gives whitening to your skin. Side effects are not reported or unknown. What does that mean? Side effects are not known. So people think there is no side effect, but it is not that, because these are popping up. These ingredients and these things are only popping up, and the side effects will be known only after 5 or 10 years.
Okay. So all in all, I hope that at least listeners of the show move into more organic choices.
Yes, definitely.
Is there again a generalized solution for people? Like, I think people just need to be more educated as consumers.
Yes,
right? That's the basis of this conversation.
Yes, but to some more extent, people are more educated right now. People know that organic is good. We need to move towards organic and natural products. But whom to trust? What is the criteria of organic? These things are the main concern right now.
What's the criteria?
Criteria in the sense, these when you talk about organic, it's not about mixing and matching of a particular group of ingredients.
Okay.
That is what is happening in pure organic labels. If some brand is doing organic, well, that is certified also. Suppose they only make use of some organically certified ingredients to bring in particular formulations,
and on the label they'll write organic product.
Yes, organic. I'm also not defending that. No, I'm not saying that they are not organic. They might be organic, but the deep concept is not there.
Okay.
Why the ingredient is used, what kind of ingredients can benefit the skin, what about the efficacy? That's where my life works. We researched the treasure of formulations available in Ayurveda to bring the best out of it, fitting the modern world individual. That should easily glide into the routine. That is my first point. And also to give no harm at all. I can assure that there is 100% natural ingredients used without depending upon any synthetic or chemical fragrances.
I think the downside for you is you're playing a more difficult business game, if I'm not
Yes,
mistaken.
definitely. But it's worthy of it, and it's rewarding to Ranveer, because
Okay.
the kind of response and the feedbacks we are getting is actually worth it, because people are saying that it's transforming their lives.
Okay. This is why I respect you, because again, the doctor side of you has turned into an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
And you've not turned into an entrepreneur for money.
Yes.
Which is exactly the kind of guest I want on my show. A subject expert who's actually doing something with
Yeah,
the subject. Because anyone can be like a bag full of knowledge and not really change the world through that knowledge.
Yes.
So, in saying that, I still want to extract some more knowledge from you. So, all in all, with skincare, it's very subjective. Just go hyper organic with the cosmetics you're using and try understanding how your dietary decisions affect the quality of your skin. And if you can, then do some yoga, do some breathing exercises, do some meditation.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anything else you would like to add to this skincare conversation?
Okay, maybe we can talk about the aging process
Okay.
that begins from the day one of your life.
Okay.
Yes,
You know,
because
many of my friends, I'm 1993 born, so like I'm 30 now. A lot of my friends, guys and girls, are going for like Botox, are going for plastic surgery in like my industry.
Yeah.
And people are just very, very concerned with how their face is changing, how their hair is changing, without knowing what's actually going on in their body
Yes.
biologically.
yes.
Anyway, let's go, doctor. Tell us.
Yes, because this is an alarming thing, because we seldom know about the effects that are waiting for us.
Okay.
Yeah. So when we talk about that, people are concerned about their looks, and they should be. They should be to some extent. We say now there are there are two extremes. Always there should be a middle path. Madhyama margam prashastam,
Okay.
as you say in Buddhist theories also. It is always advisable in whatever we do to follow the middle path. So that is very important. We should be worried about the looks, because that itself is a reflection of our personality, the way people think about us, what we actually get appraisal about. So that is important, and we have remedies in Ayurveda for that as well. In the literatures, we can see that every decade of your life there are certain biological factors that are deteriorating or reducing. So we should work on that.
Okay.
Ayurveda is the science of longevity.
Okay. Can you expand on the biological
Yes,
factors?
I will talk about that. In the first 10 years of your life, that is, Balya is deteriorating. The Balya means the childhood.
Okay.
Childhood is deteriorating. So, in the similar way, when it comes to your skin and appearance, in the second decade of your lives, growth is deteriorating. In the third decade, that means 20 to 30 years, Prabha, your luster, is deteriorating. So we should do things to enhance that. And Ayurveda has laid down innumerable remedies for bringing in the luster back.
How do you do it?
Yeah, that is why there are so many ingredients like manjishta, ashwagandha, yashti madhu, Indian madder, licorice, then so many like saffron, so many ingredients to name. The perfect blend of these items in a particular formulation, in a particular form, that is very, very important, Ranveer, because if we make some paste of it, apply on your face, that won't work, because the skin has lipid soluble as well as water soluble ingredients that has to be given for penetration.
I think this is why Ayurvedic doctors exist in the first place. Like everyone assumes that through home remedies that they can find on YouTube that their problems will be solved, but it's actually way more complex than
Definitely.
that. Okay.
Whenever we are into that science, when you are exposed to that science, we are exposed to the philosophy of it. The concepts includes the not only in finding out the right medicine or right ingredient, that has to be rightly processed and applied in such a way that it is to the point. People usually say Ayurveda is slow acting. It's not. If done in right point, right place, and right proportion,
Okay.
It can easily cure things.
Okay. What deteriorates in your 30s?
In 30s, it is the luster, prabha, your aura that is deteriorating.
20s was
20s, it is the growth is deteriorating because we grow up to a certain, our growth almost comes to a standstill after 20-21 years, right?
Okay.
That is what they mentioned. So there are different aspects. When it comes to skin care, I'm telling that this luster is deteriorating in 20 to 30 years, and skin is deteriorating in 40 to 50 years.
Okay.
In the fifth decade, skin is deteriorating. So we should do things to enhance. Anti-aging should be started from the third decade and continued.
Which is your 20s.
Yes, 20s. Yeah, 20s.
Okay.
Yeah, and more anti-aging things should be followed in the 40s.
And I'm assuming the treatment is also different in like the 40s.
Yeah.
It's more
So,
intense.
Yeah, that is basically categorized depending upon the doshic predominance.
Wow.
As we said before.
There's no way that we can give generalized solutions in this particular podcast. This is probably a podcast just to increase people's Ayurvedic understanding.
Yeah.
Because I do feel that this is also missing from the internet, because easy remedies work much better on the internet. But this is the actual science of Ayurveda.
Yes.
Okay. Wow.
But definitely, Ranveer, we can't say that it's completely subjective. We can't bring in generalized solutions, keeping these factors in mind, being thoughtful of this, understanding this concept deeply. We can definitely bring in solutions that can benefit a particular age group.
Okay. Like, as in, like, again, talking about a paste or something you put on your skin, it can be built from a generalized
the ingredients can be selected accordingly, and it can be processed in such a way that it will act in that particular age group. Usually we categorize a set of problems that can pop during the 20s, during the 30s, during the 40s, and develop products accordingly.
I have a very straightforward question to you. You're from Kerala.
Yes.
Why do people in Kerala have such nice hair? Like, is it coconut oil like that is being put?
Not necessarily genetic factors.
Okay.
Biological environment. That is also in Ayurveda we can say it's the desha, depending the position of a particular place is also classified, and it is basically Kabha predominant area, Kerala. It's actually locked in backwaters. With the geographical position of our Kerala also contributes to the hair complement, I will take it.
Why is there much more of a prevalence of Ayurveda in Kerala? I've noticed this also.
Ayurveda is very much prevalent because of the authenticity. That means the principles Ayurvedic formulators are sticking on to with the purity. They are strictly following the literature for the medicine manufacture as well as the procedures. And there are some techniques developed in Kerala that is also contributing, like Keraliya Panchakarma Chikilsa. That is also contributing much to the Ayurvedic aspects, because strictly Ayurvedic practices are followed. Not only external, internal pacification of doshas, internal purification, detoxification. This is done through a particular system, and that is sticked on to. That is the effect that Ayurveda brings in, and that's very predominantly done in Kerala. That's
Lots of my friends in Mumbai like go to Kerala for these like Ayurvedic breaks. They'll go there for a week. They'll have a bunch of processes done on their body, a lot of which are related to purification and massages, like an Ayurvedic massage. Is that the technique you spoke about right now?
It's only a physical aspect of it. Usually snehana, that is loading your body with unctuous, that is ghee related, medicated ghees are given to bring out the doshas to a level, and then these massages are given to again to abhyanga. Abhyanga is the treatment. It's a treatment only, it's not a massage. It is a scientific pattern of massaging the body, which also brings the doshas to a particular point of the body. And then Shodhana treatment, purificatory treatments like Vasti, Virejan.
What are all these? Like
Vastis are medicated, that is it is the anal installation of medicated decoctions. Yeah.
Oh,
It all directly purifies the gut,
yeah.
and it has invisible effects. When I talk about invisible effect, Ayurveda processes can't be visible to you in a macro level. As Charaka Samhita, it is mentioned that pratyaksham hi alpam, apratyaksham analpam. That means what is visible to you, what is perceivable to you through your senses is very little, and what is not perceivable to us as to human beings is vast. So finding explanations to each and everything is not possible. Just like we don't hear the sound more than 200 decibels or below 220 decibels. So there is a vast area of things we are unaware of. Our senses are not capable of perceiving.
How long are you cleansed for? Like you should do it like once or twice a year, I'm assuming.
It's actually mentioned that we have to focus on Ritu Sandhis, where the seasons meet. The time period where the seasons meet are the time period which our body is more prone to diseases, where the immunity level is very low. So depending focusing on that in Ritu Sandhi, that is the seasonal meets, when after summer suddenly the rain comes, so many diseases are popping up. So the body should be prepared for that, and this purgation should be purgative measures or this Shodhana treatment can be done once in 6 months.
Once in 6 months.
Yes.
Okay, wow.
To combat this immunity related issues, it works.
Yeah. I'm going to relay another experience I've had lately. So I actually had a shoulder injury just out of the blue. I went to my physio who first fixed my posture. And then they did this particular kind of massage called lymphatic drainage, where they massage you in a particular way. And she says that over time, anyone who does a lot of weight training, what happens is, in weight training, you're always focused on creating a bit of a burn in your muscle. Matlab, you'll keep lifting the dumbbell till you feel that burn. Okay, now over time, over like 5-10 years of doing this, that burn you're feeling is basically lactic acid accumulating. And then after you stop doing the set, that lactic acid drains away. But when something drains away, bits of it are left, residue of it is left. Now that residue stays in your full musculature and eventually can cause problems in your life.
Yes.
And I asked her, okay, so say if someone's done weight training for like 10 years and you think that they've not done good lymphatic drainage, what are some symptoms that you see? So she's like, a lack of a glow on the face, pimples on the face. Again, it's Pitta dosh.
Yes.
So I'm assuming, and what I'll also say is, this lymphatic drainage thing, it happens over 10 to 15 sessions, I think. But every time they give you a different kind of massage, okay?
Yes.
And every time they'll tell you, listen, if you're getting chakkar, if you're feeling giddy, you go home and sleep. So my first take was, why would I get chakkar from a massage? Like, I'm a man. But you actually feel a little giddy. And by the 5th session that I had, they had told me, listen, today, maybe your stomach will be upset. So I said, why? Why from a massage? And it really had become upset.
Yes.
Something was getting thrown out of my body.
Yeah.
And what you said about the Ayurvedic massage also sounds...
Yes, similar only.
Yeah.
Bringing in the doshas to koshta. That is the alimentary tract when you say that.
And then you poop out like all your toxins.
Yes.
That's basically the...
concept.
They also said that you'll pee a lot. And this used to happen after like every lymphatic drainage. So all these things again that the world of modern medicine is discovering has been there in our culture for a while.
Yeah.
And I also feel, I asked you about why Kerala has such a strong Ayurvedic culture. Because generally the south of India is just more culturally connected to what India used to be before invasions happened, before the British, etc., etc. It's just how the geographical nature of India is. I want to talk about hair now. A very basic question is men's hair care and women's hair care different? Because I know that men deal with receding hairlines. Lots of guys my age, again, losing hair very rapidly. That's the biggest insecurity point for a lot of guys in their 20s and 30s. My personal opinion is, at the end of the day, it's about confidence. But if you can do something about your hairline, try. So are men and women's hair care guidelines different in Ayurveda?
Men and women hair care guidelines are not that different.
Okay.
Only the pattern of aspects involving in the men and female hair growth patterns are different, but the remedies are somewhat similar only.
And it's related to mainly your scalp, I'm assuming?
Yes. Scalp is the main area, and there are also the requirements that we should care the hair till the tip.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
That is mainly oiling of hair
Okay.
to just enhance the overall growth, luster, and beauty of hair.
Okay.
That is the external aspect, but it's something has to affect cause and effect, stop the hair fall, enhance the growth of baby hairs. That has to be done in the scalp.
Okay.
That is mainly Ayurveda insists oiling, some kinds of decoctions for
Pastes.
paste also, and hair care in the sense that is in the preventive aspect. When it comes to the treatment aspect, there are so many things prescribed, maybe a kind of alopecia that can be treated with scratching with a particular leaf.
What?
That's the way to stimulate, to ward off the clogged kapha dosh that is blocking the hair follicles to grow.
Wow. Kappa's water.
Yes, water related.
Wow. It's probably
So-
pus.
It's not pus, it is a layer, we can say. The
Okay.
accumulation of kapha dosh. It's not pus.
Okay.
It's just a layer that can block. Just like the mind gets clouded. In the similar way, there are a body get clouded due to the, we can say that mucus, a kind of mucus.
Okay.
Do not related to mucus that we see in our cuffs.
Mhm.
The micro level of mucus forms can block the hair follicles and prevent the growth of the hair.
From a generalized perspective.
Generalized perspective, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Another generalized perspective thing I want to ask you is, at least for me and all my friends, everyone who oils their hair has healthy hair. Like, I've noticed this. I once went to give a talk in a very big corporate firm where they were related to hair products. And the product head came up to me and said, "Hey Ranveer, we love your work. We want you to be our ambassador for our shampoos and conditioners." So I said, "Okay, ma'am, happy to," and all that. She's like, "Yeah, usually Indians don't know much about true hair care. This whole thing about putting oil in your hair, do you know that it's a big myth?" And I was just looking at her like, I didn't say anything because I use a lot of oil in my hair, and I feel I have like very thick hair for my age. Like, as in, especially when I see a lot of my friends, I think the big difference is I've oiled my hair very regularly since I was a kid.
Yes.
And that's what's actually prevented my hairline from receding and all that as
Very
well.
true, Ranveer. Because nurturing your hair from a very young age can definitely attribute to the longevity of the hair, and the diet also. That is also very important.
Okay. I also feel, again, big corporates don't want you to believe this.
Yes.
Because they don't have hair oil products. They have shampoos and conditioners, which can cause damage.
Definitely. Toxins that
Same.
can penetrate into the scalp, the synthetic aspect, the silicons, and so many numbers, PEGs, thickening agents. These are affecting the hair strands as well as the hair follicles. That will cause hair effects, negative effects on hair as well as the system.
Okay. When it comes to this oiling of hair, like for me, there's an oil called Mahabhringraj Tel.
Yeah.
I believe Bhringraj is also an Ayurvedic.
Yes, Bhringraj. This Mahabhringraj is actually formulation, as I mentioned before.
Okay.
It's a combination of so many medicines. We are also having Neeli Bhringadi Keram. That is a combination of Neeli means indigo,
Okay.
Brahmi, and so many medicines are there with 4 kinds of milks used. Milks, yes.
Like milk is
Coconut milk is used.
okay.
Coconut milk, cow's milk, goat milk, buffalo milk. It goes into the formulation. It is actually a 4 to 5 day long process.
Really?
And it has to get absorbed totally without leaving any moisture. That is the way it is done.
And this again you get to
We stick on to this.
But you can only get access to this in Ayurvedic resorts, I'm assuming.
No, this is readily available. We have the range in our brand.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
Where you use milk within the product.
milk is used, but end product you won't feel, if you won't see any trace of white milk.
Okay.
It is totally into it.
In Punjab, like we put curd in our hair. Like it's a very family tradition thing. To like soften it. Like
Yes,
I remember
yes.
when I was a kid, my grandmom used to put like curd in my hair and all. Curd is also an Ayurvedic.
Good. Yes.
There is some logic of putting curd in your hair.
A curd, yes, that can soften the. It's a fermented thing that can definitely work as a conditioner. These curd and all gives instant results.
Really?
There can be two aspects when you talk about any care. Something that can give you an instant result that won't last long.
Okay.
Yeah, and it can also contribute to a long-term effect by nurturing some aspect.
Okay.
And when it comes to daily skin care or hair care, that has to be more planned, and the formulation has to be so designed that it has deeper penetrating abilities
Okay.
to the skin as well as hair for the results to sustain.
Does Ayurveda talk about using eggs on your hair at all?
No.
Okay.
That
This
is
is
not there.
this is something that people do though.
Yeah.
They beat an egg and like put
Yeah,
it in
yeah.
the hair.
Yeah.
I would never do that. I
So
don't want
messy.
I wouldn't want my hair to smell like that.
Yeah.
Does Ayurveda talk about like non-veg and eggs though?
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
It's all about when Ayurveda talks about these different kinds of meat, different
Really?
kinds of eggs and everything in the food. Food. There is attributes regarding the food. What is
Okay.
the food used for? What is its benefits, health benefits? So Ayurveda perceives food as Maha Aushadha. Aharam Maha Aushadham. It is the best medicine. Food is the best medicine. So there are so many aspects that this particular meat is meant for this, God's meat is for this, and has health benefits as well.
Wow.
So Ayurveda is vegetarian is a misconception.
Do you want to talk a little bit about this non-veg aspect in Ayurveda? I believe, I mean, the little I know is that, and I know this because I have a mutton-loving uncle of mine who always brings this up. They say that if you have a very bad fever, then some mutton soup or something is recommended according to Ayurveda.
Yeah.
Is that true?
I'll just say about the facts that Ayurvedic text has mentioned regarding the mutton you say. But it's totally your choice. Ayurveda is not insisting that you should take this. It is just giving you this food has these attributes.
Okay.
This is beneficial for this. It's
Okay.
not commenting upon that we should use these things. So what they say is that goat is a very it's very energetic animal, and it goes on eating fresh leaves. What they eat is fresh leaves, and it's very bouncy. So that meat is very lakhu. Lakhu means very light, easily digestible, and yet very health enhancing.
Really?
That's what they have mentioned about. Means it in text it's mentioned.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Do they write about poultry or fish?
Yes, so many mentioned. For example, if I something gets to my mind is regarding the prawns. Prawns, no, it's called chili chima in Sanskrit. So it is meant to disrupt all the three doshas.
Oh, really?
Yes, it can cause you might have heard many people's developing some kinds of sensitivity after having prawns.
Yeah.
And allergies, skin reactions. It's mainly because it's mentioned in Ayurveda. It's tridosha kopak. That is, it provokes tridoshas.
Like it messes up your dosha.
Yes, messes up with dosha instantly.
So all in all, you shouldn't eat prawns according to Ayurveda?
Not it is there. This concept is there. It actually means you shouldn't stick on, means you shouldn't go to these items while you're selecting. It's just
Damn.
giving
Like
information.
Ayurveda will never say, listen, don't eat this. It'll just tell you, listen, it'll mess up your doshas. Now you do what you want.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's all. It's your choice.
Do you have any other interesting non-veg angles?
So many actually, because there are we can't even relate to what kind of fish is this because there are so many names with certain properties mentioned, and also viruddhahara concept in Ayurveda, where we can see that you shouldn't eat chicken with curd. That's very prevalent here.
As in bad food combinations.
Yes, bad food combinations.
Okay.
So exact what is the result that I said, we can't perceive it in a instance, but these are causing damage to the gut and other systems. What the basis of Viruddhahara is toxicity, short term as well as long term toxicity it might bring in. That is the basis of Viruddhahara. Mixing with there are certain combinations mentioned in Ayurveda where you shouldn't use, that is some don'ts, this combination. Sometimes they say that with a particular kind of wood, you should not mix a cooking item with that particular wood ladle.
Damn.
Yeah, that is the kind of information we get about Viruddhahara. Usually we need to follow, because this can directly impact you in the level of toxicity.
Is there a book or, an author who's written about all these things?
There are so many books actually.
Okay.
These are actually these knowledge we get while studying Ayurveda, because it's in Charak Samhita, in Sharangadhara Samhita. It's a treasure of knowledge
Okay. Is
regarding
there
food. A book I'm not able to suggest. I don't get it. Yeah.
Maybe
But there are books available that can give you insights about the dietary aspects of Ayurveda.
Okay. Charak Samhita and?
In general, in Ashtanga Hridaya, Charaka Samhita, Sharangadhara Samhita,
Okay.
so many texture literatures available.
Okay.
It's the basis of Ayurveda,
Okay.
where the principles, concepts, preparation of medicine, everything is talked about diseases, their remedies.
Okay. Again, this is one of those podcasts where there's too much information to take in for one episode, which is why I don't think we're going so into depth with each topic, because I think this is sort of an introduction to Ayurveda episode for the audiences.
Yeah.
I always ask the questions that I'm actually feeling like asking on the inside, which is why I want to ask you about this whole Ayurvedic psychiatry thing. That was a part of your degree
Yes.
as well.
Masters.
Your master's in Ayurvedic psychiatry.
MD.
Wow. Okay. Where do we even begin this topic? Like, how do they actually start teaching you Ayurvedic psychiatry?
Yeah.
Maybe I would like to begin by saying psychiatry, as far as I understand it, is how you help treat someone's mental health, but through medication.
Right, exactly.
So you give people medicines that will help better their mental health. It's different from psychology in terms of, with psychology, you can never give medicines. You can give
You're
them
right.
techniques.
Yes.
Now,
mechanisms. Yeah.
now I'll ask you about Ayurvedic psychiatry.
Yeah.
So how do they begin teaching you the subject?
It's actually, as far as Ayurveda is concerned, each and every aspect of a disease is covered along with the mind aspects also. So mental aspects are there throughout Ayurvedic literature. When we talk about the diseases, symptoms and all, when we talk about the physical symptoms, we talk about the mental symptoms as well, even if it is for a fever. So the psychology aspect in Ayurveda is throughout.
Got it.
And when we talk about psychiatric medicines, Ayurveda has strictly laid down different techniques, principles, treatment patterns, treatment solutions for psychiatric ailments, from the schizophrenic spectrum of diseases,
Really?
anxiety, sadness, depression,
Okay.
ranging from the normal psychological issues to severe spectrum of psychiatric issues.
Damn. Okay, so let's take up anxiety. I think it's one of the most common problems in today's day and age.
Yeah.
What is the Ayurvedic?
Aspect of psychiatry, we can start by talking about the doshic predominance.
Sure.
It's vata pitta combination when we talk about psychiatric anxiety.
So air and fire
Yes,
being more.
predominant in our mindset.
Okay.
That is, as I told you, dosha is in every aspect of your life, every aspect, element of your cell and mind as well. So when there is an aggravation of vata pitta along with the rajo dosha,
There's a
raja,
fourth one?
tamas, and when it comes to mind,
Oh, okay.
you have heard the three gunas. It's three gunas: sattva, raja, and tamas. Sattva is kapha predominant, rajas is pitta predominant, and tamas is kapha predominant.
Okay.
Similarly, when it comes to mind issues, you have always heard about sattvic food, rajasic food. Even in Bhagavad Gita, there are certain 17 sets mentioned as per Tridoshas in the 17th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. So that aspect is also brought to Ayurveda while we are treating where we are looking into a particular disease. In Ayurveda, we first look into the pathology. What is creating the disease, even if it is physical or mental or psychological. So when it comes to anxiety, it's Vata, Pitta, and Rajas that is acting. Rajas is the kind of that kind of panic feeling.
Like very stimulated.
Yes, overstimulated.
Okay.
That is attributed to Pitta, Raja, and Vata dosha in combination.
So I'm assuming that the solution usually when it comes to the Ayurvedic way of dealing with anxiety is reduce the amount of food with Pitta as well as reduce Rajasic food.
Right, you're right. This is the dietary restrictions, we can say.
Okay.
But when it comes to medicines, apart from the food diet insisted, there is particular medicines designed so that this the dosha, Vata, Pitta, and Rajo dosha can be alleviated. Okay. That is how medicines are designed, that can alleviate this tridosha, these kinds of doshas, which is causing a particular symptom.
Okay.
Or disease.
What is Rajasic food? Like, can you give examples of Rajasic food?
Rajasic food is usually that pakka explanation of Rajasic food is mentioned in Bhagavad Gita, where that sattvic food is Rajasic food is amla, which is exciting, which is hot. Amla means sour, spicy, and that is very tangy.
Okay.
These are Rajasic foods.
Okay.
And when it comes to sattvic food, it is quite it's oily, sweet, and very mild.
I know this whole sattvic tamasic thing because it's sort of related to meditation.
Yes,
so they tell us that when you want to go deeper into your meditation, you try increasing the amount of sattvic food you're eating.
Yeah.
Which is what led me to giving up non-veg, etc. back in the day. And I've seen that when my diet is full of raw vegetables, raw fruits, my meditations also go deeper.
Yes.
So I'm assuming that that's a sattvic.
And also one certain thing that is should be cared about is that we should not stick on completely to sattvic things.
Okay.
There should be a balance.
Okay.
Not tamasic, but the Rajasic and tamasic doesn't mean that we should only take these particular items. Like the three doshas, sattvic, Rajasic, and tamas. It is not doshas. It is three gunas. Why is it mentioned if it is if tamasic and Rajasic is bad? Why is it mentioned as three gunas? Gunas you mean qualities, right?
Okay.
So why is it so said so? Because these qualities are required. For instance, sattvic doesn't mean that we are all in a mind perspective, in a psychological perspective. It doesn't mean that it is very peaceful, calm, and sorted. It also means doing the right things, being active in the right place. So for the activity, for any action or initiation, Pitta and Rajas is required. Rajas gives the drive, right? So everything has to be in a right balance. So being sattvic along with that amount of Rajas is required for the activity. And tamas induces sleep, peace, and stability.
So what would be a tamasic food that is probably good for you?
When it comes to food, tamasic is not recommended. Food that is leftover, old, degraded. That is the three types of food explained in Bhagavad Gita, not Ayurveda.
Okay, so it's different.
Yeah.
So you're saying Ayurveda...
So, but that is the base where we can find that kind of food in Ayurveda. In Ayurveda, we say that kapha, it is all dependent. Food is always categorized depending upon the doshas, not the sattva, rajas, tamo gunas.
Okay. So it is related, but it's not a core part of Ayurveda.
Yeah.
Like this rajas, sattva, and tamas
when it comes to food, but when in the mental perspective, that is a core part only in Ayurveda.
Okay, got it. So Rajas, Tamas, Sattva, food is mentioned in...
Bhagavad Gita.
Okay, but when it comes to Ayurveda, they're talking about what's happening inside your body.
Yes.
All right.
Even that food is, we are breaking it down in the doshic basis. That is the...
Got it. Okay. What other aspects of Ayurvedic psychiatry did you find very fascinating when you were studying it?
Yeah, because I had actually researched in Bhagavad Gita for deriving the techniques of counseling.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what that was a research topic in Ayurveda. So I was bringing in the concepts of Bhagavad Gita into Ayurveda for Sattva Avajaya Chikitsa, enhancing the mind of a person.
Okay.
So that is a part. But when it comes to medicines, psychiatric allopathic medicines are the most dreaded side effects.
You're saying in modern day
modern day psychiatric medicines have these medicines have the most dreaded side effects, as everybody knows.
Okay.
But that is quite we can't actually skip that. For that purpose, Ayurveda has great solutions, because the psychiatric medicines actually work on the productivity of a person. The person, the symptoms will be alleviated. The psychiatric symptoms will be alleviated, but at the same time, that individual's quality is compromised. That individual is not able to work productively in the society.
Okay.
Actively work on that, because he will take lifelong medicines and be in a vegetative state mostly, without able to do his work or without able to feel like doing things.
Okay.
So this aspect is actually worked on when it comes to Ayurveda. It actually enhances the productivity of a person, along with treating the psychiatric conditions.
I think there'll be a lot of psychiatrists watching this very angry right now. But I get where you're going with this.
Yeah.
I don't know too much about the allopathy version of psychiatry. I've never actually even spoken to a psychiatrist on the show. Maybe we will at some point. But I think where you're going with all this is the fact that allopathy and the pharmaceutical industry is also a place that is constantly developing. They're constantly going further. And maybe one of the alternatives could be Ayurvedic medicines used in psychiatry.
Yeah.
I think what you're also saying is that there are a lot of medicines used in modern day allopathic psychiatry, which could blunt out some of your functions. This is also some of the narratives that are there on the internet.
Yes.
I don't have any experience dealing with allopathy from a psychological perspective. So I have nothing to say here. But I'd love to know it from you in terms of, say there is a medicine that reduces your anxiety. Okay. So I think you're saying that it also will reduce your productivity if your anxiety is reducing.
Yes.
I am 100% sure that the medication you take, some of it does have side effects. But what is the Ayurvedic solution here, according to you?
So it has we can incorporate Ayurvedic solutions in two aspects.
Okay.
Once so many people are having allopathic medicines for psychiatric diseases, so they can consult an Ayurvedic physician, especially Ayurvedic psychiatrist, if possible, and get recommendations and prescriptions so that they can complement to the issues that are popping up due to the side effects of allopathic medicines initially. And later on, once the medicine gets effect on the person, there are chances that the psychiatrist they have been looking they were taking advices, can taper the dosage to some extent, and for eventually they can switch on to the Ayurvedic medicines.
Are there modern day psychiatrists who are open to Ayurvedic psychiatry?
Many. Because NIMHANS is the National Institute for Mental Health Sciences, Bangalore. It is the most reputed research center and medical college in India. So it has integrated the concept of Ayurveda with psychiatry, neuroscience, psychiatric departments. They have now integrated Ayurveda knowing the benefits.
Yeah.
So they are open. People are more aware because psychiatrists are totally aware of this side effect part. So they are also looking to some alternatives
Right.
for coping the side effects of the medicines.
We had an expert in molecular biology recently on the show, Dr. Neeraj Rai. He confirmed a theory that I had. My theory was that in the world of plants, which is also Ayurveda, there are too many secrets as well as solutions. Now, Ayurveda or Chinese medicine or shamanic medicine over the centuries have figured out how to use plants to a large degree.
Yeah.
And generally, the world of pharmaceuticals actually studies the same plant medicine, tries understanding what is the active molecule in this particular plant that's causing this effect, and then tries mimicking that molecule in a lab in many cases of creating medication.
Yeah.
I think that's where the world of modern science also needs to go, that we need to kind of break down Ayurveda a lot more because this is an ancient science.
Yeah.
Everything that Ayurveda says seems to be working for the modern day human.
Yeah.
Therefore, there needs to be more research done on Ayurveda to understand it more deeply and to back it by the stamp of Western science even more.
Evidence.
Evidence, yeah. But again, it's an ongoing process.
Yeah.
I think some of it has been proven. Even Dr. Huberman keeps talking about a lot of Ayurvedic stuff, but it's just touched the surface. I think the world only knows ashwagandha right now, and they know haldi, turmeric, whatever.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk a little bit about these two? These are very hot topics from an international
Point of view.
Yeah, and these are the two things that the West knows. And knowing the West, they're going to deep dive and get to know about all this other stuff that people like yourself already know. So where do you want to begin talking about? Let's talk about haldi.
Yes.
Turmeric
has been one of the ingredients, one of the thousands of ingredients in Ayurveda. So haldi has so many benefits, herb benefits, etc. But now curcumin is the active ingredient that is alleviating pain, enhancing immunity, curbing autoimmune diseases. This curcumin has found to be well researched in this. So, but as per Ayurveda, there is a different approach, like taking a holistic part. It's not about extracting a particular ingredient to work on a particular thing, because Ayurveda says that, as I told you before also, there are balance of formulations. In the same way, if we extract a particular ingredient and make it work on a particular thing, there are certain issues that may come along with that. So even if it is naturally extracted, if a particular ingredient has to work for a long term, that may have some side effects. Okay. So blindly we can't follow a single drug, especially a single drug, because in Ayurveda, single drug, when I say single drug, it does mean raw herbal material. So depending on a single drug is not the way of Ayurveda. It gives everything in combinations.
Okay.
So the extraction part of curcumin is something different from what Ayurveda prescribes.
Okay, got it.
And also long-term usage of ashwagandha. Ayurveda doesn't insist long-term usage of any particular medicine or any particular herb, even if it is a food material. It only prescribes certain materials that can be used on a daily basis. For example, green, like mudgada, green gram, honey. These materials, these food items are prescribed in Ayurveda, saying that this can be taken as long as you can.
Okay.
That is restricted to six numbers.
As in, there's only 6 food items.
That Ayurveda insists that you can take it lifelong. Rest all are conditional.
Okay.
And all the herbs that we are talking about, long-term intake of a particular thing can, you have to stop when the desired effects come. There is a condition called satmya in Ayurveda. That means when the body gets used to a particular item.
Okay.
And once you stop that, the capacity of the body to generate that particular effect naturally tends to deteriorate. Body tends to lose that capacity of doing that for the body. So
Okay.
particular drug we is not as such can't be taken for a long time. It should be taken for a desired period of time, and then we need to stop using it.
Okay.
That is the way it works. And now the nutraceutical industry projecting these things is actually a very concerning topic.
What is nutraceutical?
Nutraceutical is nutrition plus pharmaceutical. That
Okay.
is nutrition in the form of food supplements we get.
Got it.
There are so many glutathione. For example, we can say glutathione is very, very popular these days for making your skin fairer, right? Because it was taken by few celebrities or public figures or in the glamour world before, of 3 to 5 years before. But now the masses are so aware, and this mass demand has made nutraceutical or nutrient supplement industry make glutathione supplements.
And every 1 or 2 years, there's a new wave of
Ingredient
something
coming in.
Yeah.
But the danger of these kinds of items, these individual ingredients are used in nutraceutical industries without any guidelines. It comes in the food supplement range. Any company can, with an FSSI license, can introduce a new product saying it is a nutrient supplement. And what is the future of this? People taking collagen, glutathione, melatonin as supplements for a long term. Where are the studies? Do you have any studies, or which is the source of this ingredient? How this is processed?
Right.
And when people usually search on Google and they say there are no reports of any side effects, but that doesn't mean that it doesn't have any side effects.
Yeah.
So this kind of ingredient based food supplements popular in market is actually a scam. It doesn't fall in the pharmaceutical range. So there are less rules and regulations to be followed.
Got it. I think even Dr. Huberman, at least I remember he had one episode on melatonin, and so many people that I've met in Mumbai, if we're ever discussing sleep problems, which is a very common thing for people our age,
Yeah.
there's always someone who will say, oh, why don't you take a melatonin supplement? And I remember Huberman saying that he himself doesn't take it just because there isn't that much research done on it. So it's mysterious what it does.
Yeah.
All they know is that in prepubescent kids, like people, I mean humans under the age of 13, it can cause some damage. I can't remember what the damage was, but I think it's something related to mental function.
Yes. It can cause fatigue, lethargy. And
I think it was early onset of puberty is caused. Therefore, there is a shift of hormones. Therefore, that could mean that in adults who take melatonin, there could be a shift of hormones and you don't know what that shift of hormones can be.
Yeah.
Rather than, taking external hormones to fix a problem, try getting to the root of the problem. Why are you not sleeping well?
Yeah.
Do you have anxiety?
Yeah.
Okay, there is yoga to deal with anxiety. There
Definitely.
are breathing techniques to deal with
Yeah.
anxiety.
Yeah.
There is meditation to deal with anxiety. Try those things first. Why do you want to put something in your body?
Definitely.
Which is also my argument for ashwagandha. I remember when I started YouTubing 8 years ago, ashwagandha was a very big deal on the Indian internet
Yeah.
for two reasons: men's sexual health and bodybuilding.
Yeah.
I
And
think-
also it curbs cancer related issues, post-cancerous stage.
Okay.
Yeah. Convalescence period. Ashwagandha is widely given.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know this.
Yes. Even the big drug companies who are into Ayurveda deals with this in the allopathic hospitals. We seldom know this kind of a product exists until we get a prescription from a cancer patient after, oh yes, this is an Ayurvedic medicine. I haven't seen this before. This patented drug medicine is not, I'm not aware of.
So-
I was actually surprised to see these kinds of medicine in the prescription.
So you're saying that whenever there is an Ayurvedic ingredient in any medicine or in any supplement, ideally don't take it.
No, I'm telling about the particular ingredient that is extracted: collagen, glutathione, melatonin supplements.
Okay.
So people don't know, because I myself I'm doing research on developing some nutrition supplements that can actually help the people
Okay.
without causing any side effects.
I think you're saying that there's many companies that aren't doing enough work in
Yes.
research.
Yes, it's not only about the companies, Ranveer. It's about the trend that is coming in. People are, otherwise businesses are forced to get into that trend, to make utilize of this trend. But they only know some suppliers, random suppliers. They said, yes, collagen powder is there. This much is the cost. So this and this, mix it.
Okay.
And then you make gummies, collagen supplement powders. But where does this collagen come in? Marine collagen is available. From where? How is it this extracted? What synthetic process or chemicals are undergone for extracting and processing these things?
Right.
It's unknown.
Yeah. It's this whole thing about, again, Dr. Neeraj Rai, the molecular biologist on the show. He said that people don't even know the kind of stuff that's going into their bodies today just through the food, just through the vegetables you buy, just through the meat you buy. There's a lot of stuff going into your body if you're living in the modern day.
Yeah.
So it's always best to stay natural. And that's what actually brings me to the end of this conversation with you. What I've learned through this episode is one, Ayurveda is deeply subjective. And then there's different degrees of generalization. So all the home remedies we see on YouTube are the largest form of generalization, and it may or may not work for you.
Yeah.
Rather than that, go for formulations from ethical Ayurvedic companies. If you truly wish to deep dive into Ayurveda, and if you're not going to go to an Ayurvedic doctor yourself, which I think is most human beings, honestly. Everyone wants a quick fix.
Yes.
Which was the whole point of bringing you on the show. I wanted to celebrate someone like you who's celebrating the subject.
Yeah.
So, Dr. Nayana, is there any signing off note you have when it comes to this subject of Ayurveda?
Yeah, I just wanted to add something when in your last point.
Sure.
With regard to the more than people getting aware, because they have little awareness or knowledge of what is actually going into a product. I would suggest an ethical solution from the companies that does this. It is the solution is from there. We need to start the solution from there. The products that are that can actually benefit mankind should come in. This has to be very thoughtful. Very strong research and development has to be there. Knowing the very smallest ingredient we are putting into product has to be very clear. The source has to be known, and the process has to be well understood. And then you have to use it in the product. Otherwise, we can't make a public aware of what they see in the label, or what they perceive through advertisements, or what they understand from just knowing the company. What is the real issue, or the core issue has to be corrected from the businesses that bring in the products. It should be more oriented towards the human good, understanding things, thoughtful, sustainable to the nature. This is what I think.
Yeah, I think this trend has hit America, honestly. There is a range of organic products in America. I would like to believe that. I also think things like sustainability are focused upon there when it comes to businesses. I'm waiting for the day all Indian businesses talk about sustainability, talk about honesty, talk about organic truth.
Yeah.
Because I don't see too much of it happening today, and I don't know if it will happen, which is exactly why businesses like yours have to be celebrated.
Yes.
It's a much more difficult game you're playing. Honestly, I know as a business person how difficult it can be for you when you're facing all these people who are taking shortcuts and probably doing the unethical thing. But when people like you take off in the world, maybe it'll actually change the world.
I hope so.
So that's it for today's episode. Dr. Nayana, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for teaching us so much about Ayurveda. It's the age of consumer education, and that's what I hope people gain through today's podcast.
Thank you so much, Ranveer.
Thank you. So that was the episode for today. Please tell me what you thought of it. Make sure you support Dr. Nayana. Make sure you support Vanaura Organics. Remember, they're using a lot of advanced technologies to build out this particular brand. It's extremely difficult to actually bring back ancient sciences to the forefront in today's day and age, where massive conglomerates, massive multinationals are actually giving you products which are built from the other side, using chemicals, using these stabilizers and these bases for their creams and their gels and their shampoos and the soaps. Make sure you support young Indian entrepreneurs. Make sure you support Indian entrepreneurs who are doing the right thing. This was our Ayurveda special with Dr. Nayana. I'll also be linking my personal favorite products from her range. It's the Rejuvenator that uses the advanced whitening technology in order to even create the product. Trust me, you need to experience these products to understand what real Ayurveda is as compared to the slightly false Ayurveda that's sold to us in the form of skincare and hair care products. This was only our first episode on Ayurveda. We're going to be covering it in a lot more detail in future episodes. So keep supporting TRS and make sure you check out all our health and cosmetics oriented episodes because we have an entire library built out. Ranveer and the team will be back very soon.